Welcome to the Bigger Room Podcast. I'm your host, Jill Bender.
And I'm Mel Cobian, and today we're going to talk about how to journal, how to write down your deep, dark secrets. Just kidding, it's not going to be that deep. Do you journal, Jill?
I do journal. I started journaling I think, consistently in 2022. Late 2022.
Did you have like a diary growing up, like a teenager? You have a
Fuck
diary?
no. No, I did not.
Dear diary.
Yeah, it was always just made out to be such a girly thing, and I wasn't really very girly growing up, so I think... And I lived in a house... I shared a room with a sister, and then I had 2 younger brothers. There was no way I was risking such a thing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that happened to me. So I had like one of my best friends went to a different school, so we used to like journal back and forth to each other. I don't know, it's like weird. Like we would talk to each other about our week, and then we would hang out on the weekend and then like exchange our journal. It was like a friendship journal. So there's a lot of stuff there that like your parents shouldn't know, and this is why I don't have kids, because I would not be a good mom, I don't think. And I was a bad kid, so there's a lot of deep, dark secrets and stuff that I did that of course I would never want my parents to know. And my mom got it one day, and it's just like, it broke my heart. I felt so violated as a kid. So I don't know, I think that was like, I never journaled again until I was like an adult.
Yeah.
Would you read your kid's diary if you knew they had one?
No way. No, I would never violate that trust.
You need to talk to my mom, Jill. Yeah, that's a question I have for the audience. Because, it did a lot for, like, it definitely hurt my relationship with my mom that she did that. So that, I guess that's a question for the audience. Would you read your kid's diary? Would you want your parents to read your diary?
I could see where parents will say, "Oh, well, I need to protect him or her or whoever," but I don't really know when it would be. I still don't. Even if I thought he was getting into some trouble, I still don't think it's appropriate to violate that trust.
Yeah, and I guess the reason I bring that up, or it's just a fair question, is because even as adults, a lot of the times why adults don't even journal is because maybe they're afraid of being vulnerable, of putting down their feelings. And, what if my significant other sees it? What if anyone sees it? And, sometimes putting things down on paper can be the beginning on giving you clarity. So we're going to talk about 4 questions that you can answer every single day if you have no idea how to journal. So one simple way to journal is literally just write down how you're feeling. And especially if you feel anxious or angry or sad, that's just one way to get all your thoughts on paper and be like, whoa, there's a lot going on here. Let's just put that on paper. And then you probably will find that you actually feel better. Even if your problems aren't solved, you just feel better that you put it on paper, because maybe there's some things that you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone about. So
yeah,
have you had that happen?
When I started journaling, and probably for almost a year, my journals did start not so much as saying Dear Diary or Dear Journal, but it was a very storytelling type of journal. And so I think back to it now when you say, did you journal as a kid? There were a lot of... I like to write, and so I would just write stuff. And so I guess that was considered journaling, but I definitely was never calling anything a diary, and I didn't keep it in one spot. Like, not even in one same notebook. I did write a lot, though. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So for probably the first year of journaling, it was always today was such a great day. I was so productive, and I got this done, and I'm kind of upset that I, didn't do this, or I'm kind of upset that this happened. But it makes you feel better. It's almost like having that conversation with somebody, even though it's just you putting it on paper. You're getting it out of your head. And I like to do it before I go to bed, because for me, then it's like, it's just clearing it all out. and you get to go to bed with a nice, clear, stress-free mind.
Yeah.
When do you journal? Morning or night?
I journal in the mornings. In the mornings.
In the mornings. Yeah. They do
Yeah.
recommend that
Yeah.
too, but I like it at night.
Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's what works for you. And also if it serves you, if you see it as a task, it's not going to serve you. You know, it's not until journaling becomes a part of your life and you actually feel and experience the benefits of journaling that you might, like, now I'm like, I have to go upstairs and I have to do this. I not have to, but I want to do my meditation so I can journal. Like, I'm super excited about journaling every day. That's just me.
But you don't develop that feeling until you actually take action and start journaling.
Yes, exactly. It was not like that. In fact, you can probably, like, if you know, we were to open up my journals, you could see the big gaps in dates, because once you start, and again, you actually just simply do these journal prompts and things start shifting in your life. Now you kind of want to have that conversation with yourself, because that's what journaling is just having that conversation with yourself to get feedback so that you can see things in your life get better. It's really it's the whole point of journaling.
And your first method, Mel, I think is the easiest for people to get started with.
Yes.
If you don't, there's no rhyme or reason. Just pick up a pen and paper and just start jotting, just random. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be anything bad or good happened. Just write about shit that happened. I took the dog out today. It was wonderful. It rained. I hated it. Like, whatever it is, just start scribbling.
Yeah. Just start scribbling. And so let's dive right in. So the first thing when it comes to journaling is, of course, writing down on paper. So a lot of people now with technology, you might be tempted to go into your notes app and just start writing down some you know, typing in some stuff. But there's something. That's the generation we have right now, Jill. But there's just something that shifts inside of you when you write on paper and write with pen. And if you want to get a little technical, something that some spiritual teachers teach to include the book Think and Grow Rich is write with blue ink. Blue is just the frequency color of success. So just writing on paper with a blue pen just really, really tunes your brain into being more present with what you're writing. So that's just a really advanced tip for do with pen and paper.
I will mention, yeah, putting pen to paper, and I've heard that also. And I will tell you, in the beginning, if you're not a teacher, or if you don't, I don't even know what else to compare this to, but I noticed when I first started writing that my hand would get tired quick. I'm like, what? When did writing become like so tiring? And it's because we have technology and we don't write for school anymore. I mean, my entire high school, everything we didn't have. Actually, there were some computers, I guess, in high school, but it wasn't like you guys had it for sure.
Don't age yourself, Jill. You're not old.
No, but we definitely wrote a lot. But I noticed as years went on, I noticed how laborious it became to actually use a pen and paper. But keep writing, keep scribbling, and it just goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go into those 4 questions that you can answer to yourself to start getting some just being vulnerable and getting that feedback, so that, again, the whole point of journaling, you guys, is to create a shift in your life. So these are some prompts that you can follow if you need some guidance with journaling. The first one is simply writing, asking yourself, why do I feel so happy? And that immediately starts spinning the wheels of, oh, this is why I'm happy. This is why I'm happy. But if you're not happy, then ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And there are 4 ways you can feel that might have an effect on your day. And it's fear, anger, sadness, or judgment. So if you're not feeling happy, you're probably feeling one of those 4. So just asking yourself, why do I feel this way? And just journaling. You don't have to say it out loud, just journal why you feel that way. And then end that prompt with, what do I need to do to feel happy? And again, it gets those wheels spinning of what it is that you need. And you need to give that to yourself. Nobody else can give it to you. So that's a very strong prompt to answer. What do you think about being vulnerable like that, Joe?
I love that you said start with why do I feel happy, because you might not even have thought you were happy, and you might start thinking about, I am pretty happy. So I really like that, because I love the positivity of that one. I definitely don't ever want to start writing why am I angry or anything else.
No. But some people have to. Some people, if you are waking up and you're not happy, it's like, okay, why am I not happy? Am I angry? What am I angry about? Do I have fear? Maybe you have like an important presentation coming up at work or something, and you're like super nervous and have fear. But just maybe putting it down and letting your brain know, like, hey, it's okay, might help the rest of your day. It can be anything. I think a lot of people often, it's anxiety. It's just kind of seems to be the vibe that a lot of people have. But just ending that journal prompt with, what do I need to do to feel happy? Man, can that shift the rest of your day.
Mm-hmm. I have started my journal before with, I'll say something though, like I'm talking to somebody, and I'll say it in the journal. I'm like, okay, I don't normally write things like this, but I am actually pissed off about something, whatever it is. And it's so rare. Like maybe in the last 2 years, you'll find 2 pages that start with something like that. Like, I don't usually write about this kind of stuff, or it's too negative for my journal, but I just have to get this off my chest kind of thing. So I will write very briefly about what something was that was a little bit negative, and then I immediately just cancel it all out and throw all this positive stuff in there. But I feel better because now I just kind of got it out there, and I don't really think about it as much anymore.
Yeah. So another thing too is, in the morning, our cortisol levels are the highest, which is, our stress hormones. Like we're already kind of stressed out in the morning naturally. So again, you don't have to journal first thing in the morning, but it's like, it's okay to give yourself that permission to write those things down, because, for us, since we have experience journaling, it's easier for us to focus on the positive. But for somebody who hasn't journaled before, it might not look that way in the beginning. But you just said you felt better. You felt better after, so let that be the takeaway. All right, let's go. The second thing that you can write down, or the second prompt you can use, is just simply write down 3 things that you are truly grateful for, and write them down in the I am grateful for format, because a lot of people want to be grateful for the things that they're going to accomplish, and then they turn into the I'm grateful that I will accomplish this, or that I will do that. But the brain doesn't know the difference between in the past or the future. The brain only understands what's happening right now. So if you write down, I am truly grateful that and then insert maybe some goals that you have or things that you're truly grateful for. So writing the things that you're grateful for in the I am grateful for, insert, reasons why. It's almost as if your physiology starts changing, because you start feeling like, yes, I'm super grateful for this. Even if you're grateful for something that hasn't happened, call it into your gratitude. Just absolutely call it in. Yeah. All right. So an example of something that you can be grateful for that hasn't maybe happened yet is, for example, on the whiteboard behind me, I am so happy and grateful that I help 1,000 people make money online. And when I read that on my whiteboard, I'm just like, yes, like I feel the gratitude.
So one of the things that I do before I go to bed, or before my son goes to bed, is I'll lay with him for 10 minutes or whatever, and I make him. He'll fight me on it every day. I'm too tired, Mom. I said, you have to give me 3 things you're grateful for. Just name anything. 3 things you're grateful for. And then he always makes sure I also give 3 things I'm grateful for. And I think it's a really, really positive practice. And I used to do it just in the journal, but now I figured he should learn this skill as well. But some of the things I say are things that haven't happened yet, but that I am basically manifesting to happen. Like I have a sticky note hanging on my mirror that says, I am so grateful that I make 5,000 per day. And I don't currently make 5,000 per day. Some days I do, but I don't currently. But it is something that I look at and I read every day, and I'm grateful for it because it will eventually happen.
Yeah. We'll have to do an episode on the law of attraction soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's roll into the next prompt here. And it may seem simple, but you'd be surprised how many people don't know how to answer this. And is just ask yourself, what do I want? People don't know what they want, Jill. Sometimes I'll have people like, oh, I'm just not happy with life, or, I'm not achieving the things that I want to achieve. And it's like, okay, but what do you want? Is it you want a better love life? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you have a financial goal? And like, I don't know. What do you want? Write it down.
Yeah,
and that may change every single day. Yeah. Get your mind thinking, and maybe and this is probably true for us, right, Jill? Like when you start accomplishing things in your life, it's going to change, and then you get to a point where it's like, well, what do I want? Maybe I just want more of this, right? So just checking in with yourself with, what do I want? Why do I want this? What does that mean for me? What does that mean for my family?
The beginning of 2024 was really fun to start my journal with, because I realized like I had accomplished so many things in 2023. I was like, oh wow, I have to come up with a whole new list of things that I want to happen in 2024. And it was a fun exercise because I realized that I had no idea. Like, oh my God, I did almost all the things that I wanted in 2024. There's a handful of things that I didn't get to, but I had to sit there and think, like, I need a little bit longer list. I need a few more things. What do I want? And it took me a while to come up with new things. But yeah, even though I'm in practice, I still didn't know what I want. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of The Notebook. Like, what do you want?
I never saw it.
I feel like that you never see that. For those of you who see that Notebook, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a meme of like Ryan Gosling, shaking the woman, like, what do you want? Because like women don't know what they want. It's just women know what they want. Let's just get that straight. We just need to journal about it.
That movie was too sappy for me, and it looked like I would be crying. And somebody told me that they cried in it, and I was like, nope, not watching it. I cannot stand if I'm gonna cry in a movie, so I don't watch it.
I didn't cry, but there is one movie that made me cry, which you wouldn't expect, because I'm tough. It was
8 Mile.
Yeah, it was 8 Mile. No, I was just kidding. What movie made me cry? It was A Walk to Remember. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I never saw that either because I knew it was sad.
Tearjerker.
No. Yeah, nope. I cry in a lot of movies, so I've been learning, and some people have told me recently that I have a lot of empathy, and so it does make me cry in more movies than most people. Yeah, every Disney movie, ridiculous. Like, why do they have to make it so sad? There's a stupid Disney, I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's so good.
You cry watching Disney movies?
Who doesn't cry? Like, every single one, the parent dies. Almost always the mom dies.
That's probably why.
Sad. Inside Out.
I don't cry.
Inside Out, that movie was... Oh my God, that one was so bad. I was crying like the whole freaking movie. I might have been pregnant in that one. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out the timeline for that. But
Jill forgot what she was talking about, so we're gonna roll into prompt number 4, and it's It's again another simple one, but again, it gives you that feedback and that permission to take inventory of your feelings and that you are in control. And that is, what can I do today to make today amazing? And notice how the burden,
that would
if you want
definitely
to call it that, is on you. Go ahead.
that seems like a morning journal kind of thing. And to be clear, I have always heard that successful people journal first thing in the morning. I just don't know that I would ever make the time with having a kid and getting up and running through the whole schedule. I would have to get up even earlier. I like journaling at night. It's when I find available time. Does that mean that sometimes I run out of time and then all of a sudden I'm laying there and the lights are off? I'm like, God damn it, I forgot to journal. Yes, absolutely, it happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes I turn the light back on and I will do it, but
it's like one of those things where it's just one of those, and you could change the journal prompt to like, what can I do tomorrow to make it even more amazing, right? You can change the prompts to fit you. And that's one of the things that, like, if you see it as like, oh, I didn't journal, it's it wasn't a good day because I didn't journal. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you forget your Apple Watch. It's like, dang it, the workout's not going to count. It's not one of those things. But yeah, those are 4 journal prompts that you can use to help you start journaling so that you can make every day better.
And if anything helped you with start journaling, I hope that we motivated you to start journaling, because journaling is great. Once you start doing it and you make yourself do it, and then it becomes that nice, refreshing habit. You're like, oh, I can't wait to put this in my journal, or I can't wait to write about this, or it is a really relaxing and to yourself kind of task.
And the amount of stress relief that it can do for you, if you're somebody that maybe needs to get things off of your chest and off of your mind, you just leave it on paper and it stays there because now you put it somewhere. You don't have all these voices going on in your head. But it's interesting because I have like journal prompts from like 2018 and I can go back and just kind of see the frame of mind that I had back then and see how far I've come, or just kind of see the evolution of like, oh, that's actually a bright thought for a youngster. And so then you kind of just see this evolution of personal development, which we're going to talk about in a future episode. So you want to conclude it?
If you like this episode, please leave us a review. It'll help our podcast grow and to get it out to more people. We thank you so much for joining us today on the Bigger Room Podcast.